Mark Bell. Go to stream.
And it will go off to the great masters who repair old fax machines. At any rate, the fax number is operative, so if you're wondering, it is area code 702-727-8499. You want to get a fax in here, 3-page limit, 702-727-8499. Now, the news is kind of ho-humish as far as I'm concerned, and I'll run through it with you, and I'm going to get the phones fairly quickly this morning. Friday night, Saturday mornings are designed to sort of be your thing, and so that should work out well. The alien autopsy film, as you know, is coming up Monday. In honor of that, and in honoring a request from last night, on this night, we'll do it at the top of the hour at midnight. I will open the alien line. For those of you that have never heard the alien line, it is a mixture of terror and humor, depending on what you want to believe. Let's look around the world a little bit, see what's going on. Harry Wu, as you know, is back, but vows to continue to fight. And now, he doesn't exactly promise that he's not going to sneak back into China. And I would tell you that this is a very poor idea. You know, Harry Wu, I know is an activist, I know the way he feels, but he is now an American citizen. And I can tell you, having been recently in China, the communist Chinese are just not a humorous people. They don't like people sneaking in their country. They call it spying. And in fact, it was sort of spying. Back in China, my guest is particularly if he does so after the upcoming Women's Rights Conference. Women's rights in China, a joke. The First Lady has announced she is going. You know, it's kind of a tip of the hat to human rights people. She will not meet officially with the Chinese outside of the conference itself. So, whoop-de-doo. Bob Dole still thinks she ought not go. And feel about it. The New York fire in Long Island was under control. Now they're saying it's back out of control again. It just keeps picking up, you know, and jumping into different areas. Fortunately, it's not over on my mom's side yet. Now, here is a surprise, and I think a brilliant move. Senator Bob Packwood has changed his mind about public hearings on charges of sexual misconduct against him. Oregon Republican now says the only way for him to get any sort of fair treatment is to allow the public to view the process. I think it's brilliant. Now, he has been charged of kissing about 19 women, I think. 19 women. Barbara Boxer will consider this a victory, but I think she's actually wrong. I think Senator Packwood, personally, is much better off having all this out in public. And for his own sake, that the public get to see it. And get to see if the charges are really serious charges, or whether, you know, they're just kind of coming after him politically. And you'd never know if it was all in private. But, you know, if the cameras are there, we will know. It should be interesting. Now, OJ, let's see, a couple of interesting things going on there. The Judge Ito, is going to spend the weekend dealing with what he calls, quote, significant legal issues, end quote, in the case, which means he's going through the tapes, the terrible, horrible, racist, allegedly violent tapes, and he will decide over the weekend. So he's got a lot of reading to do. Now, he did apologize to the jury earlier today, and he said this now is the longest jury sequestration in all of California's history. All of history. And frankly, it looks as though they're going to remain sequestered until about, at the very earliest, say the third week in September. It's a long trial. O.J. Simpson, I believe, is guilty and will indeed walk the defense finished up their questioning of Dr. Lee, who was very effective. He will then be cross-examined when it all picks up on Monday. Now, this may be under the category of the quickening, what I call the quickening. Chicago buries heat victims. This is incredible. Dozens of victims of July's heat wave in Chicago were buried, get this, in a mass grave fright. The bodies of the 41 victims have been identified but were unclaimed. Authorities were unable to find or contact any friends or any relatives of the victim. Trucks carried the plywood coffins from the county morgue to a suburban cemetery where they were simply placed side by side in one very long trench. Clergymen offered brief prayers. The July heat, which temperatures reached 106, killed 568 people in Chicago. Now, you wouldn't think that possible in modern America, would you? NASA will try again. NASA says it has replaced potentially problematic insulation on booster rockets on Endeavour, has set Thursday morning as the big day. Endeavour was to have taken off August 3rd, but was grounded after inspectors revealed that yet 2 other space shuttles had been launched with flawed booster rockets. Now, as you know, NASA plans to privatize. In other words, they're going to turn over the shuttle program to a private company. And I still wonder what it would be like to fly in the first shuttle flight. You know, be up there on top of that big piece of explosive, really, knowing that the job went out to the lowest bidder. I asked people to make up reasons, lists of 10 reasons why they would or would not want to fly on the first privately launched NASA mission. The FAA has ordered propeller inspections of the type aircraft that recently went down, looking for cracks. Governor Jim Guy Tucker is denying as totally false a report that a plea bargain in the Whitewater mess is underway. Completely denies it and claims complete innocence. There was one worthy story I thought on NBC News last night. It involved Jeremy Brown, a gal named Jeremy Brown, and a fellow named 42-year-old Reginald McFadden in 1969 kidnapped and raped her. Stole her money, repeatedly took her to ATMs, made her withdraw her money, and raped her in between. She lived. He went to jail. Well, then in 1994, he was released and killed 2 more people. And he looked at the cameras, you know, and he said, "You really should have trusted me. You know, why didn't you see the signs? Should have let me out. I'm a bad guy." Jeremy, finally coming forward after all of these years, said something that caught my attention. She said, "Prison is too good for him. He should be tortured." Tortured as I was. Tortured as no doubt his other 2 victims were. Now, I wonder if you agree with that. Tortured. Should somebody who has done something as awful as this McFadden receive the same kind of treatment they dealt out to their victims? Violence against women in America is up 2.5 million incidences per year now. 2/3 know their attacker. Attacks on women are 6 times more likely than attacks on men. And the part, again, that caught my attention was she genuinely thought that he should be tortured. And how do you feel about that? Is prison a sufficient punishment for somebody who rapes, pillages, kills, murders, dismembers? Or should they actually face something more severe than prison? more severe than the simple loss of their freedom. You know, sort of like they do in Saudi Arabia. When you steal, they cut off the hands and soul. Pretty awful stuff, but so are the crimes. From Steve in Santa Barbara, the following: Dear Art, KCBS Television in Los Angeles at 5:45 p.m. today did a report on the upcoming Fox presentation of the Roswell crash. They claim to have an exclusive preview of some of the photos. Indeed, they did show the 6 stills you currently have on the bulletin board, although of slightly better quality, as well as some stills that I've never seen before. Indeed, there are about 6 or 7 more new ones out this morning. We'll get them, including close-ups of the 6-digit limbs and a close-up of the face of one of them. They also said the Fox network paid an undisclosed amount, thought to be in the neighborhood of about $250,000. The producer of the Showtime movie Roswell had this to say: if they can in fact prove this film was made in the 40s, this would be something important. It would be well beyond Hollywood's ability to forge something like that back then. As usual, the talking heads had a bit of a snicker and injected their own little snipes. Still, I can't help thinking this just might be the proof so many have looked so hard for so long. So it may be. And we are now, well, shortly we'll be here on the West Coast into Saturday morning. And then 2 days. And I did an interview yesterday in Phoenix at KFYI in Phoenix yesterday morning after the show. And that's what we talked about. And I told them, and I'm going to tell you, that I have no idea whether this is the real thing. I am an investigator, not a devotee, not a believer. I don't know. I'm honestly telling you, I don't know. And a lot of people say, well, gee, what a cop-out. You know, you do a lot of shows on this kind of thing. It's not a cop-out. It's the real me. I believe very few things that I cannot lay my hand on and prove scientifically, one way or the other. And that even extends to some aspects of religious belief. So that's me, and I can't tell you it's real. I have no idea whether it's real. And but it's going to be fascinating, and what is really going to be fascinating, and what you may want to comment on, those of you particularly that have seen the still photographs either on television or in my newsletter, you might try and characterize how you think the American public is going to react. Are they, because of, Close Encounters of the Third Kind and all the other movies we had, are they going to go, oh well, and just sort of ho hum? Or those of you who have seen the photographs, do you think they're going to freak out and look at this and say that it's real? That is what I did, and I remain, if I were to, I'm not a betting man when it comes to aliens, but I would bet they're genuine more than I would bet they are a fake. And for that reason, this is more than just another show. It's something, well, I can't wait to see the way the American public will react. Some will get angry, some will deride it, joke about it, others will get quiet and serious, and realize that, in fact, we may not be alone. So, I don't know. Here are some tidbits. So, you think it's in poor taste to paint the Wheel of Fortune up on top of the Space Needle? In 1987, when I was vacationing in Maui, a Hawaiian state senator proposed changing the island's name to Gilligan's Island. Since that's where the TV series was filmed. Oh, I didn't know that. Now that's sacrilege. And I hope the jerk was voted out of office. Montserrat, by the way, is about 160 miles north of Martinique. according to my atlas. Now, that's very, very interesting because, as you know, Gordon Michael Scallion, I played the tape the other night, has predicted that when the Caribbean islands begin to erupt volcanically, you have the beginning of the end cycle. Now, whether that is the case now or not, I don't know, but USGS and other scientific agencies are presently saying there is about an 80% chance that Montserrat is going to go up like a Roman candle shortly. In other words, what they call a major eruption. We'll get to phones here shortly. It will be a wild, unpredictable night, I'm sure. Dear Art, I hope your fax machine is feeling better. Hopefully, Bill Gates got to see himself trying to sing that Rolling Stone song the other day. It was quite obvious he's not quite ready to make a living as a singer. He'd be well advised not to quit his day job yet, I agree. I've heard reports that the defense lawyers in the Oklahoma bombing case are looking to have the trial moved to another state because they claim their client can't get a fair trial there. I recall 4 possible locations mentioned, one being Portland, Oregon. Can't remember the others. While cruising through my computer, which incidentally, like yours, has not lost its virginity to Windows 95 yet, I found a copy of the U.S. Constitution, Article 3, Section 2 says, quote, "The trial of all crimes, except in cases of impeachment, shall be by jury. Such trial shall be held in the state where the said crimes have been committed." Well, that makes sense. If there are any knowledgeable lawyers with insomnia out there who might be able to shed a little bit of light on this issue, I sure would like to have a comment on this. All right, I've got more, but I'm now, I see, out of time. We're here at the bottom of the hour, so I'm going to break. I've got a letter from a lady down in San Diego who is talking about the broadcast coming up on Monday. And don't forget, in 30 minutes, we open up the infamous alien line. This is CBC.
Call Art Bell toll free west of the Rockies at 1-800-618-8255. 1-800-618-8255. East of the Rockies at 1-800-825-5033. 1-800-825-5033. This is the CBC Radio Network.
It is live talk radio in the nighttime because this radio station cares enough to have it on, which means they care about you. We are now the largest live overnight show, period, in the U.S. Welcome. All right, just to sort of launch this, here is an update for you from Blake in San Diego. All right, I'm hearing right now the woman asking about the broadcast on Monday, August 28th. I have next week's TV guide, and there's a full-page announcement of the special. For those in the local San Diego area, the announcement, let me see, will be Channel 6 Fox. Now, Fox will be different channels in different areas at 8 o'clock Pacific time. It is presented well. It says real or a hoax. You decide. I'll be sure to take this special for all my friends who will miss it. Don't mean to plug the TV guide, but for all your listeners who do not know what time it's going to be on locally, suggest they go buy one or just browse through the next one they find while they're out shopping. Now, see, is that an honorable thing to do? Read while you wait? Please pass on the information so everybody will be informed and able to tape or watch the program. Great show. Keep looking forward to your next newsletter. Oh, yes. Also, the Sanjin TV, he says, is an awesome buy. Get it while you can. Thanks for the plug. All right, are you guys ready? We're going to open the lines, and this is going to be a night of you drive it where you want it to go, but I will open the alien line at the top of this hour, and that will be fun. Here are the numbers. First-time callers, people who have never done it but would like to. Area code 702-727-1222. 702-727-1222. Listen, because I don't do these frequently. The wild card direct dial lines, area code 702-727-1295 or 1295. Toll free west of the Rockies, 1-800-618-8255. East of the Rockies, 1-800-825-5033. The night is ours, and here we go. East of the Rockies, good morning. You're number one. You're on the air. Where are you calling from, please? Well, that was not an auspicious beginning, or did I push the wrong hole? I pushed the wrong button. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Hello there. Wild card line, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was before on your show.
To be what?
No, I call that thing on the air. I just on the Princeton, Minnesota.
And yes. Well, remember last night, Owen, I told you that it was a good idea, but then the more I thought about it, I thought, Friday night, Saturday morning is a better time to do that, A. B, the people in LA and San Francisco, which come online in about 22 minutes, have never heard it. It will be a very shocking experience for them. And number three, we head into the weekend of the broadcast on Monday, so it all fits in.
And also, it's coming crystal clear tonight.
Oh, so the storms in Minnesota have subsided.
Well, for now.
Yeah, good.
Anyway, I called about Bob Hackler.
Yeah, that's something.
No, I think you're 100% right about this, but I could really care less if you get food.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I did say is I simply think it is a smart move on his part. And besides, I admit to curiosity. I mean, what did Packwood do? He saw an occasional kiss, or was this real sexual molestation of some sort? Did he rub shoulders? What did he really do? I don't really know. I've just heard allegations of kissing, I'm not sure a man's career ought to be buried on a kiss.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, too.
Yeah. Well, isn't there a statute of limitations on kissing?
I don't know. I don't think these sexual harassment laws should be retroactive yet.
Well, there's a good point. There really was no such law at that time. I hadn't thought about that. You've got a good point there.
So, that's what I'm here for, Art.
Well, then just keep on keeping on, my friend.
All right, thank you for letting me talk.
Take care. From Princeton, Minnesota. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning. Hello there. No, you're not. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Hi.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
I was listening to your show, and I got the guys that work here in Washington here, KDI, listening, and you're excellent. I wanted to bring up that I haven't heard you talk too much about the power surge that we had.
Oh, that was really something. The one here in the West, where about the whole western third of the U.S. went.
Exactly. I came home that night and I ran to the fridge and grabbed a beer and I was listening to you and I went out on the deck. And this is really strange. And it looked like it was almost like three meteors with vapor trails on them.
Really?
And right after that, when that power surge, I heard you come over the radio and said that you had power surge.
Well, yes, I did. And then from all over the West Canada and even Mexico, we began to get reports. And in fact, there were three meteors, and they were observed not just in Washington, but in California as well.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yes. And everybody said, Well, it doesn't have anything to do with it. The two things are not related. Do you believe? I'm not sure I believe that.
It happened right after, I couldn't see them. They were falling in a diagonal. The minute I saw them out of sight, anyway, that's when the column failed. And I thought that was really strange.
Well, it was. And there's still real, and for all the newspaper stories and headlines and broadcasts, there was never any explanation
for the power surge.
That's right.
My dad worked at the power company, and he's a lineman. He said that's impossible.
Well, that's what I thought too. So,
anyway, well, it's good talking to you, Art.
I'm glad you called. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, Art. This is Tom calling on WOAI here in Columbus, Ohio.
You're listening to WOAI from Columbus. All right.
Yeah, I called you a couple months ago. I've been trying to get a station down here that'll pick your show up, and I am having one heck of a time trying to do this.
Well, the thing to do is find a good news talk station in your area.
We don't have many.
Really?
Believe it or not, it's the size of Columbus, 1 million people down here, and just like we don't have a professional team, we don't have a good talk radio station. I mean, we really don't.
But you must have something.
Well, we do. We have 3 or 4 of them. There's but they're all got something on there, and they got this one thing called the Truckers Show, and and then we have these.
They've got this thing. You're right, called the Truckers Network. But you know what? I think we've got a lot more truckers listening right here.
I think there's about 90% probability, sure.
Yeah.
But there's a few FM stations here I'm going to try next week.
All right, well, you've got our network number.
Yeah, I've talked to Julian a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
You gave me his number the last time I was actually able to get through, but I was actually listening to you on WKBN in Youngstown at work the other night. And the waves were traveling this way, and I was able to pick them up almost perfect for almost an hour. I was able to catch on what you guys were talking about. You had that gentleman on the other night who was talking about the $50,000 or $95,000 he had in his bank account from that check.
Yeah,
I think the guy is going about it the right way. Curiosity would lend you to do something like that. He said, he's certain it's not going to happen. And then, I think he's going about it the right way. I think those people in the banking system are, I think they're just a bunch of bums.
Well, they can afford to be nice.
Yeah, they could. How many people do you know would put $95,000 in an account they knew wasn't theirs, and then be nice enough to say, well, here, now come and get it?
What I really wonder, and I've noticed there's been no publicity, but I'll bet you a whole bunch of people went down and deposited some of those junk mail checks and gave it a shot.
That's right. And, and Art, go Buckeyes beat Boston College on Sunday.
Okay.
It's college football time.
Really?
Yeah, the city's we're buzzing big time down here. As a northeastern Ohio person from Youngstown moving to Columbus, it's just beginning to hit me down here. This place is football crazy.
Well, I'm football crazy too, but for me, it's the sacred NFL.
I don't know. College football does it for me. It's the smell in the air. You know it's coming when you smell hot dogs and that festival atmosphere of the tailgate party.
There you are. All right, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. On the wild card line, you're on the air. Hi.
Good evening, Mr. Bell.
Good evening.
Sir, may I comment on some of the new members of the House of Representatives and the U.S. Congress?
What would you like to say about them?
Well, I'm particularly impressed with this Herbert Heinemann.
Are you now?
Yes.
My impression was that most of the new members who went there with so many good intentions found out awfully quickly that they had to become part of the system or they were going nowhere.
Well, I heard Mr. Heinemann debating gun control with Schumer not too long ago.
Yeah.
And being a retired deputy chief from New York City, and again he became chief of police in Raleigh, North Carolina for about 15 years, he made the statement that he'd been indoctrinated as a police officer in New York, that guns were the problem. He said practically no one owned a gun in New York. They had all kinds of criminal problems. He moved down to Raleigh, North Carolina, took over his chief, and everyone had a gun, and there was practically no gun problem. Then he stated that when the drug people come in, then the problem started. And he said, so the real problem only as criminals, not guns. And at that stage of the game, Chuck Schumacher gave an argument. So that's one of the first times that I saw Mr. Schumer on the quiet side.
Well, Mr. Schumer's got nowhere to go anywhere. Anyway, look, there is no more gun legislation that's going to come out of Congress. So the president has got what he's going to get, and what is going to come out is going to be a lifting of the ban of the assault rifle, the whole stupid assault rifle ban. He'll probably veto it. It may stand, but there'll sure as hell be no new gun legislation. Where are you, sir?
Portland, Oregon. May I speak about something else here quickly?
Yes, sir.
Our friend Leonard, is there any news on him? Is he still around?
Not on this show. I haven't heard him in, what would you guess? 3 or 4 months, maybe.
Maybe he just hit the stuff that's trying to get the word of the Lord out, and he didn't seem to be doing pretty well. But all I have to say is, Leonard, if you're out there, I enjoyed listening to you, and I'd sure like to hear from you.
There you go. Well, he's welcome to spread the word as long as it's not scripture quoting. As you know, that is the rule of the program. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hello, Wichita.
Wichita, Kansas. Hi.
I was interested in the meteorite story in the power surge out west.
Yes.
I hadn't heard that.
Oh, it was something, ma'am. I was on the air when it happened, and all of a sudden, the lights got very, very bright. Then all of a sudden, they got very dim and went off, and we lost power for a while. Then it all came back, and I just happened, obviously, since it occurred here, I mentioned it. We started getting calls from all over the West. It was the whole western third of the U.S., and well up into Canada, even into the Yukon. And nobody could figure out what caused it. The only thing that coincided were 3 large meteors that streaked across the West just before the occurrence.
The only story I heard about a meteor was in the upper northeast, Cleveland, places like that, where there was one huge meteor that everybody was calling 911 with a big green tail. So I wonder if it was the same one, and maybe it broke apart as it went west.
Maybe that could well be.
And I was hoping that maybe some of your northeastern listeners would say something about what they saw.
Well, now, I know that sun flares, or more accurately, the solar storms from them, can cause great havoc with the power grid. But I am unaware of meteors having that ability. So, interesting story. Anyway, all right, thank you. From Dorothy, Kansas. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hello, Mark.
Hello.
This is Mark from Illinois on Highway.
Yes, I'm Mark.
Hi. Concerning Halbach.
Hailbach. That's Hailbach.
Halbach.
Yes.
Might I recommend Dan Flanders?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm pursuing Alan Hale, who's one man who discovered the comet. What do you think about that idea?
Never heard of it.
Well, that's why they call it Hailbach, sir. Alan Hale of Hailbach.
And maybe, Zechariah Sitchin.
Well, maybe. I've talked to Zechariah Sitchin, and he's willing to come on the program, Dreamland, but he's only willing to give us like an hour and a half or something. That's a clumsy amount of time. So we're trying to figure out how to get maybe a 2-guest show and get Zechariah in for half of it.
And maybe Mr. Hoagland might have about 5 hours to tell you about it.
Yeah, he might. And he is doing a lot of research right now on Hailbach.
And concerning the autopsy,
Yes.
have you heard the actual letter from the photographer?
Portions of it, yes.
There is some discrepancies in it. One being some of the military personnel on the crash site. Supposedly the aliens had these boxes and they were crying or whatnot. And one of these soldiers took this up his rifle.
Sir, yes, I had all of this on Dreamland last week.
Yeah, but I have a problem with that. Wouldn't
I don't.
they get their butt kicked up for destroying evidence, more or less?
Evidence?
I mean,
what crime are you charged with when you kill an alien? It's not killing a human being.
Well, An alien is a rare thing. Why would you want to destroy the alien?
I'm not suggesting that it should have been, and nor am I affirming that what is in this letter is accurate or inaccurate. I have no way of knowing. But I imagine then it engendered a hell of a lot of fear. And you've got to remember, we were at the beginning of the nuclear age then, right? And they probably thought they were spies, or who knows what they might have thought. Security was tight. It came down in an area of the very highest security, and so I can imagine the soldiers might have been brutal.
But you never killed the prisoner. You want to keep for information, right?
Well, generally, that's certainly true, yes.
And one more thing, the photographer mentioned that when he left the military, I think he put the term, he left the force, and that's a British term.
Well, maybe that's because he's a British man. Well, there are plenty of foreigners, sir, who have served in the U.S. Armed Services.
I've seen the pictures from the news magazine, and they are alarming.
They are alarming.
How do you think the media is going to react?
I don't care how the media. Well, the media, I hope, will give it an even presentation. The reaction, I'm concerned about the American people and how they will react. Now, maybe it's been that we've had enough, encounters type shows and all the rest of it that people will just go, or they may get very disturbed. We will see. Right. Thank you very much for the call. Call us toll free at 1-800-618-8255. Don't give your last name on the air, please. Let's just call you Tim. Where are you calling from, Tim? Tim. All right.
The research company, I called you once before. It was the manufacturers that, strange brown out on the West Coast. And I go back to all memory.
Yes.
December 15th, I think.
Was it?
Oh, my wife and I were running there. Oh, you can see that all.
I know.
But anyway, I'm calling you that that same night, you were talking about Amtrak, because the Amtrak train service was being cut at the time, and it's continuing to be cut.
That's correct.
And the thing is, I'd like to make a point over the nationwide airways that I think the Clinton administration is making a mistake allowing the high-speed rail not to be developed. I think that's a technology we really need to explore and develop.
Yeah, I really got to agree with you. I don't understand why the U.S. has not proceeded with high-technology transportation. We have just sort of stopped.
Yeah, well,
There was a day, sir, in America when we had goals. Remember, we were going to go to the moon?
Well, I remember the 60s kid.
Yeah, right. And we went to the moon, didn't we? We did it.
It was exciting.
It was a national goal. We had something to work for. What do we have these days? You know what the biggest goal for most people these days is?
It's the new coin, the new dollar coin. It's better national.
No, the biggest goal for most people is making it to Friday. Thank you. Getting through the week. In other words, the high point of their life is getting to the point where they don't have to go to work for a couple of days. Getting to Friday. And individually and as a nation, we lack goals. And that's one of the things that's wrong. You've got to have goals in life. I have personal ones. I drive myself. I set goals. And I get there by hook or crook. And I don't let very much get in my way. And there are a lot of people who call me a brutal, ambitious, dictatorial, maniacal, egotistical, and then they would add several other words that I wouldn't be able to broadcast. And, to some degree, a little bit of that's true. That is me. We'll be right back.
Art Bell is taking calls on the wildcard line. at 702-727-1295. That's 702-727-1295. First-time callers can reach Art Bell at 702-727-1222. 702-727-1222. Now, here again, Art Bell.
Across the cosmos, good morning, everybody. And it is now morning here on the West Coast. Good to be here. Nothing but open line talk radio all night long. The news is fairly light. The big event coming up, of course, Monday, the broadcast of the supposed alien autopsy photo. Excuse me, photo. 16-millimeter film is going to be released nationwide by Fox. It will be a big event. And in honor of that event, and in honor of Los Angeles and San Francisco, that I believe never have heard the infamous alien line, I hereby open the alien line. Now, what does that mean? That means aliens who are here on Earth who wish to be heard. Now, I'm closing the first-time caller line, so if you're a first-time caller, forget it for now, or use one of the other lines. Only aliens. Now, what do I mean by that? Do I mean people here illegally from Mexico, or even Mexican callers or Canadian callers? No. I mean people from other places, dimensions, galaxies, planets. People who legitimately claim. Now, you should know right off the bat, I'm pretty serious about this. And fairly humorous, without humor, that is, when it comes to tolerating very much foolishness on the line. I'll tolerate a little. So, if you are an alien, and only if you are an alien, no human beings, not a one, should call area code 702-727-1222. If you're a human being, don't call that line. 702-727-1222. See, it's already ringing right now. I bet it's a human being on the line. So, this is Friday night, Saturday morning. We're kind of into an anything kind of day. Not as structured on this morning, and this definitely will be part of it. It will be up to you to judge the quality of the aliens that we get. Now, generally, I want to know from aliens who call why they are here. Some of them seem to have crashed here, and they're stuck. Others that claim to be here helping us. Others claim to be here sharing technology. Others claim to be time travelers, dimension hoppers, you name it. We've got the whole gamut that will call, I guarantee. So we'll see what we get on this morning. While the nation awaits Monday, the Roswell film, 8 o'clock our time, check your local listings on Fox. In honor of that, and Friday night, Saturday morning, I'm opening the alien line officially as of right now. Area code 702-727-1222. Even though it's ringing, of course, I'm not going there right now. I'm going somewhere else. Then, when I'm sure that everybody's heard what I've had to say, everybody knows no human should call that line, then I will go over there, see if I can find an alien. For now, west of the Rockies, you're on the air. Would have been east of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi. I was just calling, and I live in Columbia, Missouri.
Yes, ma'am.
Working here on KFRU.
Right.
And there are 2 articles in our paper today that they're sort of quickening articles that they relate to what we're talking about. And this one article says that during the meteor storm, fireball brightens the night sky, slams into the trailer home, and it burns this trailer home to the ground.
Oh, I saw the photographs of that. Yes.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. And also another article says that...
Now that really would ruin your night, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
I mean, there you are sleeping and a meteor slams into your home. Bad news. Bad luck.
Well, okay, and the other article was about the place that Gordon Michael Scallion said to watch in California, Mammoth Lake.
Yes.
And it said that yesterday the U.S. Geological Survey scientists report that the
Outguessing.
right, and that the magma is apparently like just a mile and a half below surface.
I know. Listen, this is getting very serious, and people of Montserrat are being evacuated. The scientists consider an 80% probability of a major eruption. Mama Earth's getting ready here.
Right, and this is the place in California, Mammoth Lake, where all the trees are dying around it.
Because of the gas.
Right.
That's right. Oh, you're dead right.
Anyway, I was just thinking about those things and thinking about the quickening, and thought you might like to hear about them.
I'm glad you brought them forward. Thank you. Yes, I've been getting a lot of reports on Mammoth. Something's going on there. Mother Earth is kind of getting ready to bring the other shoe down or something. You get that feeling? I certainly do. It's all part of the thing that I call whatever that is. All right. Sticking my neck out as usual. On my alien line, you're on the air.
Good evening, Art.
Hello, are you an alien?
Yes, I am.
Now, where are you from?
Right now I'm visiting in Arizona, but I'm actually from the Rigel system.
And let's see where to go with it. How and why are you here?
It started out about 50 years ago as a cultural, not as a cultural exchange, but as a kind of a research thing to find out what your culture is about, what's going on here.
What have you learned?
You guys are in trouble. Basically, that the human race is in serious trouble. You're letting too many criminals go free. You're not dealing with them. For example, the Susan Smith case, if that happened in our home world, she would have been put to death on the spot.
You have capital punishment there?
Yes, we do.
Somehow, most humans would have thought that aliens would have somehow progressed past the concept of a life for a life or something of that sort. You're saying it's the very same thing on your planet.
Yeah, so we did about 100 years ago. We had this liberal phase we went through, and crime went up through the roof. And
you mean liberal? You mean liberalism is not common to only this planet? It affects the rest of the solar system and the cosmos?
Well, we had it. We got rid of it because, like I said, the crime just went through the roof, and people just eventually they woke up and smelled the coffee and put the death penalty back into effect.
So you guys even have coffee?
Well, we did after we found Earth.
Are you going to remain here for the rest of your days, or?
Not really. I'm right here on a mission. I'm sent here to gather up artifacts.
Artifacts. Now, that could mean a lot of things, including some of us.
No. We don't take people. We just things. The way we do it, we just when we go to the store, we look human enough that we wouldn't stand out in the crowd.
Now let me delve into this. This is very interesting because there are a lot of people say there are aliens here that look very much like humans with very subtle differences. How can I tell when I see one of you?
Well, you really wouldn't be able to tell by looking. It would have, if you had the equipment to do a DNA analysis, and you might then, if you had a skin sample or something, you might know, hey, there's something right here.
All right. Having criticized our judicial system now, what is to become of us? I mean, are your people going to take action? Are you going to just monitor Earth, or what are you going to do?
Well, right now it's just a sit back and watch things, collect, like I said, when I'm in artifacts. I just had some friends of mine went back, they took back a couple.
What do you guys like? Bangles, beads?
No, we sample things, a lot of samples of your technology, your literature. We've got, we take back books. Anytime a new book is released, we try to take a copy back. When people just headed back with Windows 95, people back home wanted to play with that.
All right, sir, thank you. There you go. It figures. Windows 95 has already made it to another planet. I hope Bill Gates heard that. East to the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Hello there. Going once, twice gone. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, that guy was pretty good.
Yeah, he wasn't bad, huh?
Yeah, humor, too, that's good. I'd like to ask you an important question, but first, I would like to comment on what you said about the young lady on the MCI commercial.
She's cute.
She's cute. What's the big deal? I mean,
Well, there is no big deal. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's
yeah, I mean, rabbits are cute, and we all work hard to look nice.
My dear lady, rabbits are not cute.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you have a rabbit problem.
Rabbits are pesky,
I have to ask you a question.
determined, vengeful little twitching creatures.
And they're born with your name on their lip.
And that's right, and to compare them to the girl on the MCI commercial is sacrilege.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
Okay, serious question.
Yes.
I need to do a reality check, okay?
Me too.
I'm having a problem. Life is so good. I love life. I'm 2 years younger than you. It scares me how much I agree with the things you say. But,
Scares me too.
yeah, I know. But you know what? For 2 days, I mean, like I said, life is good. And I'm trying to keep up the odds of saying, today I'm arrived, you know. But it's like, I can feel it in my chest, like something's going to happen. And I'm saying, am I imposing my life anxieties? Am I neurotic? You know, but
You may be listening to my program too much.
well, this could be true. But I mean, I did this before COVID and Northridge and local earthquakes here in Santa Rosa. And I'm not saying earthquake, but I'm really curious.
Something.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what the rest of your listeners, if I'm just losing it or if I'm like in midlife crisis.
All right, well,
I don't want to live to be 98 or, but
I think you're just having a midlife crisis.
does that mean I have to live 48 more years?
Well, maybe it means you can. I mean, if it's a midlife crisis, couldn't be a midlife crisis if you die next month, could it?
No, I don't want to live that old.
All right, thanks for the call. I've wondered about that sometimes myself. How long would a person want to live? If you could, I think the answer is, if you could be in good health, and if you could be as you are, and I would pick now. I like my age. I like how old I am right now. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm not, even though I passed 50, which was kind of a jolt, that's all over, and I'm very pleased with the age that I am. And if I could freeze it right now, it might be okay. But otherwise, if you could say live to be 200, but you continue to deteriorate, that would not be a good situation at all. Not at all. Well, I'll try again. On my alien line, you're on the air.
No, I'm an alien.
Are you? Where are you from, please?
I am from the distant system of Conradia. Planet is holy.
Planet is falling?
Holy.
I'm having a hard time with your alien accent. I'm sorry.
Holy. Like, you're not friendly, you're holy.
Oh, so you are not a friendly race, exactly, to you.
Well, no, we are friendly, but, we just come from a planet called holy.
Well, that has an ominous connotation.
Well,
Sounds a little ominous to us.
well, it is.
Well, okay, then why are you here?
I'm here to collect a chemical deep below the Earth's surface.
Really?
Yes, it's unbeknownst to human beings. Only us aliens know about it.
Can you just tell us anything about it? Or
Top secret, pardon.
top secret, naturally. Can you tell me what this element or what this, whatever it is that you need, does for you?
We need to distill our water on our planet.
To do what with your water?
To distill it.
Or distill your water?
Yes, we're having a problem with pollution.
Well then, I see that our worlds have something in common.
Yes,
I would say that you would be well advised to extract this quickly before we pollute it here ourselves. How long are you going to be here?
I will be here until we collect the liquid.
The liquid. So it's a liquid. See, you gave that away. Bet you didn't need to. How do you get to it? I mean, do you drill underground?
Well, we drill a small hole and then shrink ourselves into a small capsule and take a little tube down. Are you with me, Art?
Well, I'm trying.
See, we have a little,
I said, you started to lose me. How are you able to shrink yourself?
well, see, there's another liquid from our planet that allows ourselves to compact ourselves into
Little tiny aliens.
we compact ourselves into little tablets, kind of.
Tablets. Well, that's fascinating. And how far down into the Earth do you have to go?
About 3,000 miles I'm not supposed to tell you.
So you see, you dropped some more information. I guess all right, thank you. We better end the conversation now before you give the complete mission away. Dare we try again? On my alien line, you're on the air.
My name is Jimmy.
You sound like a very young alien, Jimmy.
Yes, I'm 11 years old.
And you're an alien.
Well, my mom, she's a Cassian.
Say that again.
Cassian?
And is that the name of a planet?
No, it's an alien. You know,
Oh, I see. So it's a race.
yeah, like you have people,
Yes.
you know, that's artists.
What about? Oh, I see. What about your father?
He's a human.
A human. So this is a sort of a. Well, it's more than an interracial marriage. It's an interspecies marriage.
Yeah.
And you are the product of that. Well, you speak, your English is quite good.
Well, I don't have that accent, so.
That's what I noticed. How is it being half human, half alien? I mean, do you have some instincts that are alien and some that are human?
I'm not really sure, but I see ghosts and I see auras.
You do?
Yes.
Well, there are some humans who claim to be able to see auras as well. So maybe that's just part of your human characteristic. I mean, is there anything... How many fingers do you have?
I have 5.
5. How about toes?
I have 5.
How about the rest of all the plumbing? About the same?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no real physical difference. How about the way you think? Do you have alien thoughts?
Well, I'm not really sure.
Well, then how are you... Well, what has your mom told you? I mean, did she sit you down? How old were you when she sat you down and said, look, I've got something shocking to tell you. You know, you're not all human. When did you find out about that?
I'm 6 months, 7 or 8. I started realizing it, you know, then she started telling me and all that.
All right, my friend, thank you. A young alien.
Call Art Bell toll-free west of the Rockies at 1-800-618-8255. 1-800-618-8255. East of the Rockies at 1-800-825-5033. 1-800-825-5033. This is the CBC Radio Network.
It indeed is. On a Friday night, Saturday morning, anything goes kind of night. Glad to have you. Here's the facts. There are many aliens on this planet at this time, as you can tell by how my line rings. They are very difficult to detect, though. There are many that come in and leave. There are some that have been here for a long time. Some have come in ships, however. Most come as walk-ins. How do you do that? Or are born just like any other mankind. Those that are born experience birth trauma, which in most cases makes remembering a task. Most of those born are warriors, here in anticipation of the change to the 5th sun, whatever that is. Without getting into scripture, some aliens will have their hearts weighed during this time. Humans will be harvested. Many who are not aliens digest this much, and I may send more. Well, I find some of that somewhat indigestible. And then this IARC sending this fax to help out the alien who's trying to get the chemical to preserve their water supply on their planet. My suggestion would be to not drill 3,000 miles into the Earth, but to take his or her spaceship over to the other side of the Earth and drill less than 25 miles. This would save a lot of time and drilling on their part. That from Doc Barry down in Phoenix. Good thinking, Doc. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello there.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to, make a suggestion for a question for your alien line.
Yes, all right.
But
Well, look, I can do better than that. You want to talk to an alien?
sure,
Show us how you would do it?
sure.
All right. Watch this. On my alien line, you're on the air. Do I have an alien here?
Oh, Art, I think I must be because 2 weeks ago tonight I beat all the odds and I won the Sanjin ATS 818CS radio.
Well, you're not an alien then, sir.
Well, I'm calling to thank you for the radio.
Well, you're welcome. And you're also not a first-time caller.
Well, I'm cheating a little bit, but
Yes, you are cheating, and so you're welcome. It is a fantastic radio. I hope you enjoy it, sir.
well, thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye. Well, sorry about that. That obviously was not an alien. So I will now wait for the line to ring again, and I will bring you an alien, and I'm going to let you interview the alien. So let's see. Have we got an alien on the line now? Hello there.
Pretty close to an alien.
Pretty well. How do you look? Either you're an alien or you're not. Are you human or alien?
I'm an alien. I drive a truck.
Well, that's an honorable profession.
Well, I'm an alien truck driver.
Where are you from?
I'm from Zenith.
Zenith.
Right.
Well, look, I had somebody else here who wanted to interview you. Zenith.
Right.
That's not the name of your trucking company, is it?
No, that's a planet.
All right. Oh, it's a planet. All right. Caller, what would you want to ask the man from, the alien truck driver from Zenith?
Yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts on Roswell.
Roswell.
And if those aliens that happen to crash Roswell are any relation to his species.
That's a good question. The Roswell crash.
We're aware of it. We're aware there's been quite a few crashes, and that's one of the only ones that mankind knew about.
So you're affirming for us that this Roswell thing is real.
Exactly.
Oh,
And
so I'm talking.
that the reason they crashed was because they ran out of fuel.
That would do it.
And when we leave Zenith, that is the sister planet that they come from. And when we leave Zenith, we make sure we have enough fuel for the return trip.
Mm. You don't use diesel, I assume.
Only in the trucks.
Oh, in the trucks. All right, thank you. There you have an alien from Zenith, the planet Zenith. On the wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, this is David Phoenix.
Hi.
KFI.
Yes, sir.
I tried to call quite a while back when you were talking about drugs and should they be legalized or should they get more severe about it.
Yeah, there's even more of a reason to be talking about that right now. It seems the big conversion is on now from crack cocaine to the good old stuff, heroin. And they've got these new product names for it. You can buy them in New York, I understand. Stuff like Body Bag.
Yeah, I had heard you're one of my major sources for years.
What a really enticing little bag to get, you know? Give me a little body bag, would you? How about some poison? They call another brand name is poison.
Well, the thought I have is that drug abuse really isn't the root problem. There's only a symptom of the greater problem that could primarily be cured by doing things like implementing a space program that actually inspired people.
Well, now look, I'm all for a space program and for goals, but how's that going to alleviate the drug problem? You think people are turning to drugs because we're not going into space?
It's not the only factor, but it's the idea that people don't see mankind as a whole achieving anything. They see mankind as a whole tearing itself apart. If they see mankind doing great things.
You've got a very good point. I mean, we really are drifting as a planet, as a nation. We're kind of drifting without goal, without a perceivable future. I mean, we're just sort of achieving life by the day.
Yeah, so once you put a communication satellite, I want to live on the moon, I want to live on Mars.
Now, suppose I told you that I could arrange for you to go to Mars.
I'd be there.
But wait now, I'm not done. But that you wouldn't be able to come back. In other words, it's a one-way deal. Mars, for one thing, Mars trips are very expensive, as you know.
Sure.
And so you'd have to go and stay.
If I had company.
Well, there'd be a few other adventurers like yourself in a very rough, domed community on Mars. Would you go for that?
Very likely. It's not certain, but I'd have to give it some thought.
I hear a little catch in your voice now, indicating that.
If I had enough resources to make it interesting, I'd do it.
Well, you wouldn't be getting the latest movies. I mean...
Well, who cares about that? I mean, if they equipped the expedition properly. In other words, if they just sent people there just to be there, in typical government passes, and then did something pointless, I wouldn't go for it. But if they had all the scientific equipment needed for exploring Mars, I would love that.
Really?
Yeah.
I would consider something like that, I suppose. I would consider it. But, you know, I'm like you. It would depend on...
I mean, as long as there's females along, but that could be the thing.
Oh, no, it doesn't. So now we've got another requirement. There's got to be some females.
Well, you have to supply basic human needs.
Well, you really do have a good point there. And who wouldn't want to go to Mars? It was a man-only kind of thing.
I mean, NASA isn't, space exploration isn't the only thing, but we need to, as a people and as a species, we need to do things.
How about if it was only Sharon Faulkner that was going? I've got to go, sir. Thank you very much for the call. Have a good morning. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, I was talking about want to talk about the thing that's on Monday?
The show coming up Monday, yeah.
Yeah, there's something about it being on the Fox network. They have some other shows about UFOs and stuff there. And the Fox network seems more an entertainment network. It seems whatever's on there is taken less seriously.
Well, I agree with that.
And
in other words, they are not yet a player quite equal with CBS, ABC, and NBC. I agree with that.
No real serious news. So a lot of people are going to see that show as entertainment.
It's true.
And another thing, someone called in about the brownout or something last December.
Yes.
Okay, I think there was something here in California too, where they saw something around that time in the sky.
Absolutely. Where are you?
I'm in Oceanside, and I believe people called in from Escondido.
Oh, yes.
And I remember that night clearly. I laid down about 9. The room was dark, and a bright light. The whole room lit up, and that same night, 2 blocks away, a transformer blew.
Yeah.
And I think it was related to the same deal,
So do I.
power surge or something.
That's right. It was never explained to this day. It has not been explained. I mean, I heard power company people, I had them coming on the air saying, well, you know, this surge did that and this closed that down. But how it could go across the entire West with no protection, no isolation, and shut everything down, I don't buy it.
And this latest one, was it last night, or there was something on the news about something seen in the sky last night?
Well, look, it's been damn near every night in the west, northwest. Lately, there's been a lot seen, sir.
Okay, and I just hope everyone watches that show on Monday and takes a good, serious look at what they see.
Well, you can bet we'll be talking about it at 11 o'clock Pacific Monday night after everybody has seen it.
Okay, great.
Thank you. And I'm very, very curious about the human reaction to it. Speaking of which, Alien Line, you're on the air.
Hello, Marcel.
Hello.
Yeah. This is Arush. I'm not alien from another system. I am here to procure cultural information about your human race.
Have you been watching the OJ trial?
my mission is over. It was over last March.
So your mission didn't even last as long as the OJ trunk.
That's why I'm still here.
I see.
OJ is guilty or not by somebody.
Yes, goodbye. You know, you can't study modern American culture without studying the OJ trial, right? And you know, I guess his mission is over, but he can't leave until he sees how it comes out. Could you? You were an alien. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning to you. Where are you, sir?
I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay.
Okay, now, I have to... Let me turn the radio down.
Oh, turn it off, actually, all the way. Turn it off. Drop the phone. Don't drop the phone like that. Just put it down gently.
Sorry about that.
No, that's all right.
Okay. I went to the air show today.
Yes.
And saw them doing their thing, and they were playing your music.
Cusco?
Yeah.
Excellent.
It was. Right as it is you.
Well, I'm glad.
I have a question for you, and it would probably be better up here, but
No, call me Packwood, sir. Do it.
okay, I've got web space on the internet,
Yes.
and if you want it, I'll put up a whole page for you.
Well, there are a number of home pages on the web now. Have you looked at them?
For Art Bell?
Yes.
Oh, no, I haven't.
All right, go to the web crawler, search, and just enter Art Bell. It'll take you to various locations.
Oh, okay.
And maybe you will join forces with them or form your own.
Okay.
Anybody who wants to start an Art Bell webpage has my permission.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't really have much to say. Your show is great, and I listen to it every chance I get.
It is different, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes. The wild card line, you're on the air. Hello.
Good morning, Art. Here in California, listening to you on KSRO, 1350, Santa Rosa.
Well, that's great. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I had a couple of things. First, is the bulletin board on the internet yet?
No. The internet connection, though, is a comment.
Excellent. I just finished reading Jeremy Rifkin's book, The End of Work. It's end of mass labor markets and beginning of the post-market economy. And I honestly think that someday, maybe not in the too distant future, we're going to have to look at, in some way, decoupling income from work. We might have to establish the right to an income.
Well, you're saying we have to decouple income from productivity. How do we do that?
Well, in a way, we're doing it now. In that American wages have gone down, while productivity has gone up. In fact, the American worker is.
But that is the antithesis of what you just said you wanted. You want income without productivity or the need for work.
No, I said that's not what I meant to say.
Oh.
What I mean is, well, in a way, capital is becoming more productive, not labor.
Okay. I do understand now what you're saying. But you know what that would really mean? We might be able to actually do that in this country. In other words, literally survive on the investment of our capital in the rest of the world. But what we would be doing as capitalists, and I guess we might do it, is in effect enslaving third world countries. At least a lot of people would call it enslavement. We would call it employment. But having them produce and reap some small portion of profits while we reap the larger portion of profits.
Absolutely not. In fact, the entire idea would depend on third world people earning first world wages. Because if they can't earn, they can't consume. If they can't consume, we can't produce.
Well, they would make an increasingly better wage, certainly as time went on. But trust me when I tell you, they wouldn't start at the top of union scale.
Oh, they certainly would. I mean, like anything, organizing this would take time. But
would that, sir, wait a minute.
Sure.
Would that be moral?
Well, it would be moral to earn money without work. Is that what you're saying?
That's the question, yes.
Well, yeah, it would, because, I mean, after all, look at the huge,
it really goes right
volunteer, look at the huge volunteer sector we have in this country.
It's
all unpaid work
yep.
that goes into maintaining the fabric of society. Just because you wouldn't be working for a wage doesn't mean you wouldn't be working for your own psychic satisfaction. There are people out there who just would like to collect garbage and would collect garbage. There are other people who would...
Well, it goes to the very heart of the whole idea of capitalism, the investment and use of capital, and maybe even directly to the heart of it. In other words, Mexicans, Central Americans, South Americans, we could have factories, we could have production, we could have workers, and we could have basically American ownership. And there could indeed be a lot of people ending up just making a lot of money off the sweat of the brow of other people elsewhere.
I was afraid they earn their money off the sweat of the brow of the machines. That's just precisely what I'm talking about.
Well, you could argue this would enrich other nations, ultimately, and be to their benefit, or you could argue that we would, as capitalists, be lousy enslavers of other people, and there would be plenty of people who would argue exactly that.
Well, you're definitely right, and we'll have to think about it a while. But I just wanted to broach the idea, given the fact that it may come to the day when only 20% of the whole population of this country will turn out enough goods and services in this country to satisfy 100% of the wants, but who will be able to buy all the products?
Truly an intriguing question.
The President's Convention in 1970 came up with the idea of doing precisely that. That's where Richard Nixon got the idea for the negative income tax. So the idea's been around for a while, and given the current crisis in unemployment, so it seems to be intractable. It's time to start thinking about it.
All right, sir, thank you. You know what I think would go wrong with that idea, though? It might work economically, but we would end up with too much time on our hands. And what is it? Something about idle time, the devil's something or another. We'll be back. This is CBC.
Art Bell is taking calls on the wildcard line at 702-727-1295. That's 702-727-1295. First-time callers can reach Art Bell at 702-727-1222. 702-727-1222. Now, here again, Art Bell.
Here again I am. Top of the morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It's Friday night, Saturday morning. And I am not taking first-time callers. Well, in a way I am, actually. I have the alien line open. I promised I would do this yesterday. It is Saturday morning. The weekend ahead of the Roswell release on Monday, the 8 o'clock Pacific time. Check your local listings, the Roswell autopsy film. So I've opened the alien line, and we've had a bunch of aliens so far. I even had about an 11-year-old alien here a little while ago. Anyway, one might ask, how do you prepare for such a show? Well, like this morning show, you don't. Nobody has ever prepared for anything like this. As you know, Harry Wu is now out of China, but he's making noises and sounding like he might go back in again. The Chinese are not amused by this, and I think Harry has an awful lot of martyr in him. I don't, of course, decry his cause. It's laudable. But if I were Harry Wu, I think at this point I'd stay out. Next time he goes in, there may not be a first lady following on to help him be ejected. He could be there for the rest of his adult life. So Harry, I'd say, stay in your naturalized home now. You've done enough. In New York, on Long Island, they thought they had the fire under control. Late word is not very much under control. The O.J. Simpson trial plows forward. Judge Ito yesterday telling the jury it is the longest sequestration of the jury in all of California history. Chicago rather, has buried a quickening story, if I ever heard one. 41 victims of the heat in a mass grave in Chicago. And you know, not one mourner showed up. That heat wave killed 568 people in Chicago. Can you believe that? NASA getting ready to launch once again. It will be a NASA launch, not a private affair yet, but NASA is becoming private. We talked a little bit about that. There was a very interesting story, about the only one that was really interesting, on ABC yesterday, about Jeremy Brown. She's a lady who was attacked and raped, this fellow, this criminal, actually, Reginald McFadden, 42 years old, kidnapped her. Had her driving around to various ATMs, withdrawing her money, stealing it, raping her repeatedly. He went to jail. He was a, quote, model prisoner. Model prisoner. The guys who do everything right, and yes sir and no sir to the guards, and they do all the things right. And so he got out. And as soon as he got out, he killed 2 more people. Now, they interviewed him and they said, he said, they really should have seen the signs in me. That they should have let me go. I'm a bad guy. And so now, of course, he's back in prison. Back in prison, and 2 more people are dead. And they interviewed this Jeremy Brown, this gal, and she said, they asked her, they said, is prison too good for this man? And she said yes. That in her view, what he did was so awful that he should be tortured. Tortured. And I thought that would be a good question for you. I'm not in favor of the state torturing people, but I have a feeling a lot of you out there are. And that the crime, the punishment ought to fit the crime, and the only way that can occur is not by giving somebody a comfy little a cell with television and a day room and then maybe a pool table and all the rest of that, just prison somewhere. But by real punishment that indeed fits the crime. Now, I think it's Alabama. They're having prisoners go out there with big sledgehammers and break big rocks into little rocks. Maybe that's torture, that kind of hard labor. Maybe that'd be all right. Maybe I'm for that. Torture in terms of actually torturing somebody, no, I don't think so. But when you listen to the victim of something like this, she has a pretty good point, I think. Anyway, it's open line, so whatever you guys want to talk about is fine. Now, my alien line is open. Dangerously, unexpectedly open. And so, if you are an alien, only if you are an alien, and you better be a good one too, or I'm out of there quick, you call area code 702-727-1222. That's aliens that are here on Earth. Or wherever you are, you can call from some other place, so that'd be all right too. 702-727-1222. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Bob from Most Lake, Washington.
Hi, Bob.
Hi. I just want to tell you, I myself have seen aliens.
How do you know?
Well, they most often describe themselves as young feral felines. And one sure method to identify them is the way a grown terrestrial cat will act towards them when you bring them in your home.
Nah. Set up. I hear a setup thing.
Yeah. By the way, how are they doing?
Actually better. My big 16-pounder will now allow my little tiny girl to come up and lick him, and he puts up with it. So there's a change underway now. I still dare not go near my big cat because he's very, very, very angry at him. So, I'm going to let nature take its course here. And, eventually, I predict the day will come when they will be inseparable. That day, though, may be baseball.
Can I give you fair warning?
Of course.
Make sure your 16-pounder don't kill it because then the feds might come down on you for destroying evidence.
All right, thanks. No, he's not going to kill it. And he's chewing her up a little bit, but that's all right. I mean, I don't get in the middle of that. If they want to have a fight, I let them fight. And you can't really keep them apart. They're going to have to work this out themselves. This is cat business, not human business. So when they fight and they tromp around, I allow them to do all that they want. First time caller line, you're on, alien line. You're on the air.
Hello, I'm an alien.
Yes, good. That's good. Then you're on the right line. Where are you from?
I'm from the solar system. The planet is no longer there.
Your planet, like Krypton then, was destroyed in some awful way.
Yes, our sun supernova.
Yeah, that'll do it. Meltdown. How many of you managed to get off the planet?
Well, actually, only a third were saved.
A third? Of a population of approximately how many?
2 million.
Well, that's still a substantial number of people. Did you all come here, or are you on various planets?
We're spread out throughout the galaxy in different ships.
Like an infestation, sort of.
Yes.
What are your plans here on Earth?
Well, actually, we actually came to source water.
Water. Well, we have a lot of that.
That's why we came to your planet.
That would make sense. And as you look at the planets out there, everything else would be arid or frozen or poisonous. And we have water. We do have water.
Yeah, on our planet before that, we had problems with pollution too.
You did. Pollution seems to be a galaxy-wide problem.
Yeah. We travel through holes in space.
How do you think humans are doing?
Horrible.
Horrible?
Yeah. We had warring factions between two planets before. More like the liberals and conservatives of today.
Oh, God help us. If there was a conservative planet and a liberal planet, I can only imagine the horrendous wars that would occur between the two.
Yeah, that's before we were both caught up in the supernova.
Who seemed to be ahead, as a matter of fact, before the sun finally settled the disagreement? Who was ahead, the liberals or the conservatives?
Actually, the conservatives were pretty much ahead. Well, this is the best way I can explain it. They were more, I guess you would call it socialist.
The liberals.
Yes. And we were more economic
producers, right-wingers.
That's the best way I can explain it.
Oh, that's very good, actually. Yeah, all right, well, thank you very much. Now, there's a different slant on the whole thing. I never thought about that. One sun, two planets, one liberal, one conservative. I wonder how much the conservative planet had to support the liberal planet. And was there work on the liberal planet, or were there just people with flowers in their hair and sort of an attitude about the cosmos? I guess it's academic. Sun went nova, and they both went up. a bipartisan supernova. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art. This is Susan out in Palm Springs.
How you doing,
Hey
Susan?
there. Boy, I'll tell you, last night tonight there was something, as usual.
Well, I try not to make it the same, dear, every night, you know.
Yeah, well, the other night you were talking about the computers, and how they eventually might be able to go off into their own entity.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know if you remember a series that was on last fall. It was called VR5.
Well, I can go back further than that to a movie called The Foreman Project.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, the series VR5 I thought was really, it was fascinating. I don't know if it's coming back on this fall, but it is something to think about because the way it's going, I mean, to think you could get into different situations.
You know what I think? I think that if a computer or the web even, or the internet, attained some sort of consciousness
right.
and took over, you've got to wonder, would it really do, as a ruler, a worse job or a better job than we're doing with ourselves right now?
Yeah.
It might be a lot better.
Or it can get pretty dangerous.
Well, but at least it would be logical, right?
Well, it'd be fun.
Well, I don't know about that,
Yeah.
but it would be logical. I mean, do you think it would put up with a $5 trillion debt?
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Not very likely.
No.
And would it worry and have political connections about doing something about the debt? Or would it simply sort of issue an order and say, the following will be done by such and such a date, or else?
Probably a lot less lawsuits.
Oh, yeah, there wouldn't be any.
Especially with things like, men get targeted with this cuteness thing,
There would be what would be called the cyber settlement.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to ask you, on the know dark thing, it's so fascinating.
Oh boy, is it ever.
Yeah, and I just, I couldn't remember because I was half dozing off asleep if the man had said that he had also, the person he was talking about was Mandela, I believe.
Yes.
Did he also discover the Ark of the Covenant recently too?
Apparently they're on a quest for it. They think they know where it is.
Oh, geez.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I would be...
Either one of them.
That would be a fuzzy mission because, you think about the stories with that and the powers, that would be very, very unnerving to be on that expedition.
Indeed. Would you, if they let you, they say, all right, there it is, the Ark of the Covenant, you can open it, go ahead. Would you?
With very careful consideration, especially when you know what's inside.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I would.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much for the call. Now, digging for the Ark itself on Ararat, if they're going to do that, and actually, what do I need? Yes, they're doing that now. If they uncover the Ark, Noah's Ark, it is going to change so much. I mean, all the doubters and all the people, and I'm one of them, would be forced to take a very serious scientific look at as a validation of what's in the Bible. The Great Flood and Noah and all the rest of it, and I mean the satellite photographs of what's on Ararat right now are damn convincing. And so what if it really is the Ark? Oh boy. It's going to be very thought-provoking indeed. Probably from the war. And now venturing forth to the alien line once again, you're on the air. Hello? Are you an alien? Well, you're speaking a language that we are unable to hear, so we're going to have to move on. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Would have been Wildcard line 2, you're on the air.
Oh, Art.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Very well.
Let me turn my radio off.
Good.
There, this is off. I'm Kim. I'm calling from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Welcome.
Thank you. This is the first time I've ever called. I couldn't call the first time because I'm on the area, so.
Well.
But I don't know if you heard about the meteorite that last night. In the Erie area, a lot of people witnessed it. A blue-gray, like 3 through the air.
Blue-gray?
Yeah, a professor from the local college witnessed it, and they interviewed him on the local news. And he said that, you know, it had like some blue-gray streaks, and it really lit up the sky again. I didn't get to see it because I was working. I worked on the shift. But they said it might have hit somewhere in the 50-mile radius of Erie because it was so big, and they said it was either like the size of a baseball or a basketball.
The only thing I don't know is, might have hit, might have crashed. How do they know it didn't land?
Well, there was a trailer fire, I believe, in Canada. I heard about, and they, you know, some people question whether or not that might have been something from the meteorite, you know, particles of it that might have hit that trailer that caused the fire.
Well, then I think they did. Didn't they say that it was a meteorite?
Well, they questioned it. They, you know, the news that I saw, anyway, they said they couldn't prove that it was. But the way the trailer, like, burned.
Well, I'll tell you this. All I know is to be lying in a trailer and having a meteorite hit it.
Would be pretty scary.
It would be the ultimate bad day.
Yes, it would.
All right, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Can I hold on?
Yeah, you want to hold?
Yeah, I've got a couple more things I want to tell you.
All right, couple more things you shall tell us then. We'll be right back.
Call Art Battle toll-free. West of the Rockies at 1-800-618-8255. 1-800-618-8255. East of the Rockies at 1-800-825-5033. 1-800-825-5033. This is the CBC Radio Network.
An adventure in the nighttime as Noah must have taken on the high seas. The unexpected, and then finally, there was Ararat, the landing place. Still fascinated by the possibility. What if it is? Wow. You're back on the air again.
Okay, good question. Do you still have a problem with your bunnies out there in the desert?
Well, the answer is yes and no. You see, they were eating my drip line.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of cured that. I finally called up and said, put aluminum foil on your drip line. I mean, nobody likes, even rabbits don't like to chew on aluminum foil. So that seems to be keeping them away from my drip lines, which is great.
I have another suggestion.
But I'm not done.
Okay.
They gather every morning
Uh-huh.
in a circle around my property.
Uh-oh.
And I mean, there's enough rabbit ears out there so that you can't see past them sometimes.
That's the killer bunny.
We're talking about Alfred Hitchcockville here. And so I go out and throw rocks at them.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Well, I have a suggestion. You ever tried, has anybody suggested dried blood? They use it in gardening and things like that. Because my mom uses it around her marigolds and things like that, around her flowers.
Yeah, sure, but I've got, you know, we're talking acres here, and
no.
that'd be more blood than even your best empire could do.
That's true. It doesn't smell very good either, but it does do the trick. Dried blood.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you how much I like your show.
Oh, thank you.
And I work for a sister hospital in the area that I work in used to be like radiology, and there's a lot of metal in the walls. So we're like really desperate to listen to your show. So we have like secret ways we listen to it, me and my coworker. But I can't tell because other people might pick up how we do it. But
does it endanger the patients?
No, we work in a department we don't really deal with patients.
This guy sent me a list the other night. Did you happen to hear of ways that you can hurry the death of the earth?
Yes.
And one of them was pointing dental X-ray things at people randomly.
That would be terrible.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call.
Well, thanks a lot, Art.
You take care. She sounded cute. You think she may have looked like the Like the girl on the MTI. I'm stuck lately on the girl on the MTI commercial. Oh, she's west of the Rockies. You're on the air. Good morning. Turn off that radio. That's all right. Turn off the radio. No, make them turn off the radio now, or I gotta go.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Kim.
Hi, Kim.
I'm from Washington.
All right.
And I just wanted to know, I heard the lady from California earlier on the line saying that she thought she was going through a midlife crisis or something else.
Yes.
And I have to say that in the last couple months, I have felt the same way.
Really?
And I'm not, fidgety or anything. I'm not, like real.
Are you midlife-ish?
No, I'm not. But I just wanted to let her know that, that I feel that there is something coming to. I don't know what it is. And my grandma listens to you so faithfully, and we both are sitting here listening to it, and I just wanted to let her know.
Well, you're both right.
I know, I think so too.
I know.
And another thing is I have also witnessed those meteorites.
Well, I mean, we do have meteorites.
Well, I know, but these aren't like shooting stars that you see. I have seen one go horizontally across just above the horizon. And it was like pinkish in color, and it had a long tail on it. It was just real funny. And then I saw another one.
Well, let's see, rocks or even pebble-sized things coming into the atmosphere, depending on their chemical composition, will burn green or pink or red or whatever, depending on the chemical. So, on the other hand, if they go up, that's bad. If they make turns, that's bad. If they land, that's worse.
Yeah, well, I've seen one go, I've just never seen one go, from north to south before. I've seen them, go up over across like diagonally, but never horizontally enough. One of them that I've seen. But I was curious too. Another thing is, I also heard on the news earlier about that meteorite that hit the figure that landed on that mobile home.
Yes.
But they said that there was no evidence whatsoever around there that there was any foreign material. Mm-hmm. And I was just curious if, that lady said that it landed in the Erie area.
Well, she said it crossed the area.
Crossed it. It didn't land there.
Well, again, we've got to be careful about the use of the word land. But that something may have hit in Canada.
Oh, okay.
So something happened. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. I'm curious to see how it turns out anyway.
Me too, thanks. Very, very curious. On the wild card line, you're on the air.
Charlie, liberal in California. You know something, as far as this gal who wants to torture the guy who raped her,
yeah.
It shows you why human beings are sick. First of all, to me,
well, do you honestly consider that to be an abnormal reaction on her part?
No, that's what the problem is. It's not abnormal. It's part of human nature to seek revenge. It's part of, actually, it has something to do with a part of our brain called the RX, the part that's the center of aggression. But certainly, if it's wrong to torture someone, certainly it would be wrong to torture someone in any life, wouldn't it?
Yes, I think so, Charlie. I actually agree with that. But on the other hand, I understand. What about that part of the brain that deals with justice, huh?
Yeah, well, see, that's where we confuse things. Justice and revenge are two separate things. And something, the strange thing is that you'll see people get horrible things done to them. Their family, somebody killed their family, or raped their kid, or something like that. And they actually get so engulfed in it that they become victims in a way themselves. I'm certainly not saying that you shouldn't feel hatred for someone that does something horrible to you, but I think it can reach such a point that you become a victim. That it's almost like it becomes a poison. And once it becomes a poison, it's not only attacks the person that you're going after, but it starts eating at you too. I think that's what the problem is for a lot of people. And certainly, if it can happen to an individual, it can happen to a society. And I think that's what we need to try to avoid. As far as this guy, you had an alien call in a few minutes ago. Actually, this is why I think there might be a lot of civilizations out there who actually are searching for other places to live, because the thing about it, every solar system eventually will become too dangerous to live in. The star will start expanding. The thing about it is that those solar systems are very old. A medium-sized star is about 10 billion years old.
Right.
And so that means that any living beings on that planet would have to have an very advanced civilization. That means that it's a necessity to leave your star, to develop craft that can travel at the speed of light.
Well, I do wonder, Charlie, honestly, when I open a line like this and I talk to people for a few hours who claim to be aliens, whether they're all trumped up, whether it's all baloney, or whether maybe a few of them are for real.
Well, the sheer numbers, if you look at the Milky Way galaxy has 100 billion stars. There are 100 billion galaxies. Each one has more than 100 billion stars.
Thank you, Charlie Sagan.
It seems likely that certainly there are some life out there, and some advanced civilizations, and those advanced civilizations, if they survive long enough to when their star begins a supernova, they're going to have to develop the technology to leave.
Speaking of the supernova, did you hear about the conservative and liberal planet and the supernova there?
Actually, you know something? I do not dislike. There are a lot of conservatives out there who personally dislike liberals. I actually like talking to conservatives. I like listening to conservatives. I think they're very interesting.
They are, because they make sense.
Yeah, and some of these people call and say, you know what, I hate Bill Clinton. I hate all these liberals out here. I really think they're missing the point. Liberals balance conservatives. There's a lot of positive things about conservative thought, and it's basically the difference between you and me.
And again, you're right, in the same sense that the devil balances the positive golf course.
Well, liberalism, conservatism isn't evil, and liberalism isn't evil. It's just you have a different political philosophy as far as what government should be doing. I think government should be proactive. You think government should kind of stay back a little bit. And that's basically the difference. And for the recent point of the two groups of people hating each other, I think it's rather sad. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. And maybe our sun will supernova and settle the whole thing soon. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. No, there you are on the air. Hello.
Here I am, on the air.
Yes.
I have a question.
All right.
First of all,
turn your radio off.
okay.
Second of all, tell us where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Indiana,
Okay.
and I'm a truck driver, and I'm listening to your show.
You don't sound old enough to be a truck driver.
Thank you. I am. I've been one for about 5 years.
Really? How old are you?
I'm 28.
28, all right.
Well, the question I have is, I heard this guy earlier, this alien truck driver.
Yes, oh yes,
I just am having such a hard time buying this.
Why?
Why?
I mean, I've been out there, I've listened to CB. A bunch of them sound alien to me.
Oh, well, yeah. I think most of them probably are alien in a sense. But, I mean, so what's this guy coming and driving the truck? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not being, what's he driving the truck from another planet or what?
No, he's from another planet, but on this planet he drives a truck. I mean, it's the job he's doing. So every time you pass another one out there, you've got to wonder.
So what's his purpose here? Just to haul freight?
Trucking, I guess.
Well, I was running Steve.
Yes.
You know, it's like being an alien.
See.
And,
what do you think about Steve?
well, Steve I've known for a long time, and he's a great guy, and, you know, I don't think he would, you know.
You don't think he'd lie to you about something like that?
No, I don't think he would lie to anybody. But, you know, he doesn't have a mission, he's not here on a mission. It's like, you know, he's considered, like, you know, when people move from America to Ireland just because they want to go there.
Yes.
Well, that's like why he's here. I mean, he doesn't have a mission. He's not here to drill for liquid 3,000 miles, which is another thing, you know, I don't think the Earth is even 3,000 miles thick.
Well, actually, I'm not quite sure of the thickness of the Earth, but somebody suggested, can you hear me?
Well, yes, I can hear you. I'm at a truck stop.
I see. Somebody suggested that instead of drilling 3,000 miles, you just take your spaceship to the other side of the world and drill in about 25 or 30 miles.
That's what we were talking about. He's actually with me tonight.
Oh, I see.
He's standing, like, you know, 8 feet away from me.
Well, perhaps,
we made that comment too. Well, why don't you just go to the other side and drill a couple of feet?
well, maybe it's the different way that aliens approach things. You know, Dumb and Dumber.
I guess. Have you ever talked to somebody that can explain the afterlife?
No?
Well, he says he knows what they are.
What are they?
He says it's an alien runway.
You know, there
The
are...
whole tribe, the whole race of Incas was an alien race, which is why they disappeared without a trace. I mean, they left a couple of bones and a couple of pictures, and that's basically it. You know, the artifacts of pottery or nothing.
Well, look, in another several 100,000 years, that may be all they find of us. A couple bones and some TVs or something.
I think they find more. I think we polluted this planet, you know. We polluted it so much. And
You may be overestimating what we're able to do to Mother Earth. Thank you. I've got to follow Rush on that. That is to say, I do believe we are polluting the Earth. And I do believe that we are hurting the Earth. But I don't think that we really have the capacity to do very much negative other than to affect our own position here. Now, our position is rather tenuous. That of the Earth itself, I think, is pretty solid. Get this, folks. I cannot call for my identity and location would be revealed, but I must make the truth known. I am, as are all humans, originally from another planet. I was born on Earth, but have been educated as to our true origin because I, like all my ancestors, function as a community monitor. Really? I am at the bottom of the hierarchy here and report regularly to a superior. You see, about 35,000 Earth years ago, a terrible disease was unleashed on our home planet by one of our galactic enemies. The disease affected the ability of our women to reproduce, eventually leading to a 95% reduction in population, apparently, no matter how hard they tried. In order to avoid extinction, we began transplanting healthy seed communities, in quotes, to several compatible planets, including Earth, approximately 26,000 years ago. Our home planet is now a desolate wasteland, but we have managed to thrive here. I am greatly troubled, though, because I've only been taught a half-truth. I was brought up to believe that we simply immigrated to Earth. But after a lifetime of research, I now know that our ancestors, in fact, conquered this planet. In the process, we completely eliminated the previous ruling inhabitants. We evidently have been a warring race for a long time. I must go now. On the side. Very interesting. Very thought-provoking. Do I have time? On my alien line, I don't have a lot of time. Are you an alien?
I am.
Where are you from?
I'm from Vega.
Vega.
Yes, sir.
That's not Vegas, but Vega.
No. I've been to Vegas, so.
Have you?
Well, sure.
Well, I guess, how'd you do?
I broke even.
Broke even?
Last time, yeah.
That's about as good as most Earthlings do.
Well, yeah.
Or can hope for.
Can hope for anyway.
The planet Vega
No, the star system, Vega.
Oh, the stars. What is your planet's name?
Vega 6.
Vega 6.
Yeah.
Well, we just don't have enough time here. Do you want to hold on?
Sure.
All right, you won't hear anything, but we'll be back to you in about 5. Stay right there.
Art Bell is taking calls on the wildcard line at 702-727-1295. That's 702-727-1295. First-time callers can reach Art Bell at 702-727-1222. 702-727-1222. Now, here again, Art Bell.
That's right. The alien line is in progress tonight, and we've got to go back to a gentleman. I don't know if that's the right term. A being inhabiting Earth from, he says, Vega 6. You're back on the air again, sir.
Yes, sir.
Vega 6, huh?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about Vega 6.
Well, it's a nice little planet. It's mostly dry.
Kind of like where I live, maybe.
Yeah, kind of like where you live, but there's some big old lakes. We can go boating. We got boats here. You know what that's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we enjoy that too. Yeah.
Boating on Vega 6.
It's pretty windy, so that helps.
Oh, you sail, man.
Well, yeah, they always put a big old sock like up, yeah.
Well, that's quite a leap from a sock going across Vega 6's aquatic opportunities to getting to Earth. I mean, how do you make that jump?
To get to Earth, oh, well, there's a thing called the corridor network, and you just ride along that.
You know, that makes some sort of sense. The corridor network, could you define that? I mean, what is it? Is it
Well, it's like
some sort of portal? Or?
That's kind of like a portal. It's more like a magnetic energy corridor through the space-time continuum. Yes, sir. You just need ion propulsion to steer through it. It ain't no big deal. I mean, once you learn how to do it.
Do they really say 8 on Vega 6?
Well, no, I'm kind of sit there up here. I'm kind of on vacation this week, see.
You mean vacation from Vega 6 or vacation from a job here on Earth?
No, I have a job here, but I just got to take a little time off to do some golfing.
Golfing.
You know, enjoy some of the stuff you guys do, too.
Well, what is your view generally of Earth?
Oh, it's pretty hilarious.
Hilarious.
Well, yeah, you boys are pretty confused about things.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Well,
that's okay. I mean, that's what the tourists say to come see, so.
all right, my friend, thank you. Vega 6 resident here on vacation to the golfing. Hey, all right, I'm glad you're talking about meteors at about 2 a.m. On August 24th, I was out doing some serious stargazing at Branch Oak Lake near Lincoln, Nebraska, listening to Art Bell while stargazing, my favorite hobby. And I witnessed the greatest meteor I've ever seen. It traveled west to east, covered about 120 to 150 degrees of sky. Wow. I first thought it would eventually skip off the atmosphere because it was traveling in such a straight, parallel line to the Earth. But I guess due to a loss of inertia, it seemed to dive and break up at about 15 degrees above the horizon. After the meteor was 2 seconds into flight, I ran 30 feet in order to get around the tree to watch the last part of the flight. The entire flight lasted 5 to 7 seconds. Ivan, in Lincoln, Nebraska. P.S. Will Liberal Charlie ever learn not to talk in tired liberal cliches? No, Ivan, never. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello?
Oh, yeah, I think I'm east of the Rockies. I'm in Denver.
Denver, you're definitely east of the Rockies, sir. You're on the wrong line.
Oh, what line should I be on?
Okay, the line you should call is 1-800-825-5033. All right?
All right.
All right, thank you. Now, obviously, you were listening to your radio, so you can now hear that. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, Art.
Hello.
This is Tom in Omaha.
Yes, sir.
KFAB.
You bet.
I would say I'm kind of a reformed liberal because I've come to the realization lately that liberals are bad. But I'm still of the opinion that many of the conservatives, once they hold office, that they are fascists.
Well, I think that, the old expression about absolute power corrupting absolutely, and it can corrupt on both sides. But the liberals, in the practice or the preaching of their ideas, such as they are or tend to be more fascist and vocal and with the higher decibel levels. So I think they move toward fascist tactics in argument very much more quickly than do conservatives.
Yeah, the thing that turned me off the most was the political correctness, soft police type of stuff.
Yeah.
But if conservatives, and I'm watching this Congress closely, if the conservatives really move towards a small government is more able, or is less able rather, to impose its will on the people. So if that happens, then I will say yes, they are genuinely less fascist. But there are plenty of examples in the Congress and elsewhere of people who...
I know.
Okay, you already know.
I know, I do know. I mean, in a way, Newt Gingrich is a little bit fascist, but...
Not to mention Jesse Helms.
Yeah, not to mention Jesse. But these are men of very strong conviction, and maybe that translates. Maybe we're being a little free with the word fascist here. Newt has slight tendencies. It's just that I admire him. I think he's the guy who could beat Bill Clinton, who is certainly in his own way fascist.
And I will mention, I know many avid liberals who care for Bill Clinton. Not at all. At least here in Omaha. I only have a small sphere of influence, or people I know, but a lot of liberals consider Bill Clinton an absolute foe.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not a hard conclusion to come to. He kind of drifts with the wind. I like to thank you very much what his advisor said, his closest advisor, that when Bill Clinton is at a press conference, somebody will ask him a question. He will visualize Gallup polls in his mind instantly. He's able to look at them, see what the results would be of the various answers that he's contemplating, and like the liberal whiz of a computer that he is, come up with the answer that would please the most people. Amazing. But so effective. We're a nation that wants to hear certain things from our politicians, and Bill Clinton is the ideal person to meet this out. I call him the monster from our id, and that's what he is. We created him, we wanted him, and now we've got him. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi there, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
At 10 o'clock news, Channel 5, they showed an investigation about the meteor hitting the trailer in Ontario, Canada.
Yes, sir.
And according to what they said, there was no evidence of meteorite fragments in the trailer. It was a deserted trailer. Nobody was living in it.
Right.
There was no evidence of a meteorite fragment, so they're not certain at all. I think one of your earlier callers mentioned that they weren't certain about it. But, they said they weren't certain at all that the trailer fire was caused by a meteor, even though there was activity in the area at that time. The other thing I wanted to mention was that at 11 11:30, almost 11:27, Channel 2 News showed a picture of the Roswell newspaper front page from back in 1947. Remember that?
Oh, indeed, yes.
Very familiar Roswell Air Force captured flying saucer, whatever it said. We've seen it a million times. They gave a very brief showing of the alien autopsy. One shot.
One shot,
An
yeah.
alien lying on obviously a table. It's very clear.
Oh, yes.
Very white, very clear. I've never seen it before. I'm waiting for Monday like everybody else.
Yes.
But a left side view, a view of the very fetus-like alien lying on this thing,
Yep.
eyes wide open, left side view.
That's right.
And that's the only one they showed it really quickly, but Channel 2 News, I thought, well, that's an interesting preview, and I wonder what they're going to show on Monday.
Well,
You've already seen this thing here then.
I've got 5 separate photographs.
Does it sound like one of them?
Yes.
I heard they weren't clear.
Well, it depends. That's subjective. I mean, clear to one person is not clear to another person. They're fairly clear, and what we're going to see on Monday is going to be quite a bit more clear.
Oh, phony.
Turn your radio off, sir.
Yeah, no, somebody picked up the extension. I don't think this is going to have any impact at all at the moment.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah.
Monday will tell.
You betcha.
All right, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I'm unclear about it. You know, somebody mentioned earlier that Fox is regarded as kind of a... How are they regarded? Kind of a leading edge, entertainment-oriented kind of network. They've not achieved quite the same thing. You know, it's not the same as if it were running on NBC. I'll tell you something, though. I'll bet you that after Fox runs it, the other networks will pick up film courtesy of Fox, probably, and run something on their evening news. That would be interesting. I really can't figure out how the public is going to react to this. The photographs that I saw are disturbing. That's a good word for it. Disturbing. These things are close to human, and yet not human. Obviously not human. And hoax, maybe. I tend to think not. I've heard people trying to knock holes in this, and I've not heard any serious holes knocked in it. They talk about phone cords, curled phone cords, you'll see that. But they have them there. They've talked about people on Earth who exhibit similar characteristics, 6 digits, that sort of thing. But there was more. A full autopsy, examination of the brain. The pathologist in England who watched it said it did not appear to be a brain. There are no nipples, as in male or female. I don't know how they conclude it is a female, other than the absence of male genitalia. It's odd, and it's disturbing, and I don't know whether it's real, but I tend toward believing it may be. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Yes. Hey, Art, this is Karen in Houston. How you doing?
Hi, Karen.
Well, it's another early morning thing.
Yes.
In conversation with those who call in on your alien line, I have several questions you might pose.
Well, when I get someone like you, I'd rather just bring an alien on the line.
Sure.
Okay, is there an alien here?
Well, Art, I got an alien with me.
Well, let me talk to him.
You already did. This is Kurt. I'm a truck driver.
You're a truck driver. You didn't
Quasar said he got through to you.
You called earlier?
No, Quasar did.
Quasar. Well, this is only a line for aliens, sir.
Well, he wanted me to fill something in for you.
What?
He said that that Gordon Michael Scotty
Yes.
better pay real close attention to him.
Well, Gordon
The
Michael Scott.
Quasar, he's in driver training with me right now.
All right. Apparently, a lot of aliens into trucking. I appreciate that, but I want an alien. This young lady here has a couple of questions. So, are you an alien?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
I
good.
went to have caused it before.
Before when?
Well, before many a time I have caused it.
Not
Passing planet?
not tonight, though, right?
No, not tonight.
All right. You're from what planet?
Passing. It was a young one of mine who called Alias Alias.
All right. Look, do you have any questions for this obviously young alien?
Well, okay, we can try one for size.
All right.
Whenever folks have gotten close to UFOs, and I noticed that in the construction of these flying discs, there are no seams, and the texture is something like skin, the outside texture of the UFOs. Is this a product of nanotechnology? Can you explain that? Okay, mine was not like skin. And mine, I know to this day that the United States government has it. I landed mine in Montana near the Black Hills, and I've seen many of my kind be murdered by those who came and take my craft.
But you are not responding to the question. She asked about the seamless construction of your craft.
Well, my craft wasn't a skin, so it had no seams. It had just the entrance of the door, in which I traveled in and out of. Is this a product of nano? Because if you were to travel through time and space with a steam, it would cause an eruption. So it had to be a solid vessel.
Okay.
Another question then. A lot of folks who are being abducted seem to have one question that's posed to them by those who abduct them, and that is what you know about Project Prometheus. Can you tell me what that means? I have no idea. I know that there probably is many of different kind of aliens, perhaps another would know that one. I know that a friend of mine who would come across this earth with 6 computers, no thumbs, that the American people decided that was a birth defect, and so they removed his fingers so he now looks like he has 5. And this is a common thing down here on the earth. If you look at different, they amputate.
Is it Karen in Houston?
Yes, it is.
Karen, this is a fairly impressive accent this alien has.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at accents, and I can't place it. It sounds alien.
Oh, I talked to you before. Then I told you my people, they come from the planet that you now call Pluto. But at that time it was a habitable planet when we left
All right, well, let me help Karen here. Why are you here?
I'm here waiting for the coming of God. That is the reason why I come here. The reason why others come, I'm not all sure. Different reasons for different visitations, is that it? That's indefinite. Yes. So here on this earth, I have 5 of my own children and 2 grandchildren. And I watch and I learn with them, and I wonder, should I tell them what who they is? And so I tell my children what they are and who they be. So
Well, I like that honesty. We'll be right back.
West of the Rockies at 1-800-618-8255. 1-800-618-8255. East of the Rockies at 1-800-825-5033. 1-800-825-5033. This is the CDC Radio Network.
It is. The news is kind of like presidents on vacation. He went and took a picture of Old Faithful yesterday. That was big news. Congress is out. There's not a lot going on. Judge Ito has a lot of homework to do over the weekend. That'll be big news next week, I suppose, on the OJ trial. In the meantime, coming up Monday, the 28th, this coming Monday at 8 o'clock, check your local listings on Fox will be the long-awaited purported alien autopsy. And it is going to be interesting, to say the least. Hi, Art. It's been a long time since I've been able to tune in. Sure is nice to catch you again. But what happened to Charlie? He sounded rather moderate tonight. Concerning life on other planets, while I feel certain there is other life out there, I'm also certain some are advanced enough to look for other intelligent life. What I'm not certain of is whether or not they would bother stopping here. Intelligent life is what they are seeking. Later, Kevin, KFYI Phoenix. You really know how to make a race feel bad, Kevin. Art, with the sightings of the meteor recently in the news, I recall a story of a woman in the U.S. that was supposed to be the only person to ever have been hit by an object that fell from space. To put it in a nutshell, she survived and was hit in the leg, which only caused a bruise. Do you know of anyone else that's been hit by such an object? Jim in Portland. No, Jim, I do not. I know people that are affected as though they've been hit by something like that, but not specifically. And from Steve, dear Art, the top 10 drawbacks to corporate sponsorship of the shuttle program. 10. Nintendo brand telemetry systems. 9. Science experiments limited to Pepsi taste tests. 8. Spacesuits that look like NASCAR drivers. 7. Bill Gates always buying a seat on every flight just because he can. 6. Just another place to paint the wheel of fortune. 5. Ziploc brand O-rings. 4. Having landings become part of Super Bowl halftime highlights. 3. Embarrassing mouse ears on space helmets paid for by Disney. 2. Mission Control doubles as Circuit City store. And 1. Pay-per-view launches. Have a good weekend. And Steve is probably right. Dear Art, about the Ark, what if it turns out to be a spaceship? Now, I hadn't thought about that. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Carson, California, Art.
Hello.
How's the connection this evening?
Actually, a little better.
Well, thank you, Art. Thank you very much. No clunky, small barrel 1980 vintage touchstone phone with no readout, no nothing, just 12 keys on it.
Yeah, well, see, we broke them up. It's our fault.
Yeah, well, anyway, these we'll make them into use.
Anyway, what's on your mind?
Well, I'll tell you, Art, the other night when I got through, I got so mixed up when you picked it up that I got off on the floor. I remember tonight. Chuck Carter the other night discussed Windows 95, and he doesn't want it on his computer either because apparently he's afraid the bugs will ruin his memory in his, so he doesn't have either. He's using 3.1.
I would have imagined Chuck's worry would have been more, conspiracy oriented, like maybe getting information from him and issues of privacy and the Council on Foreign Relations reviewing Chuck's computer.
Anyway, Art, that is one of the hidden problems in Windows 95. I heard on another program that.
That's why I said it.
There is a feature in it that if you use the phone system to get Microsoft's online services, it'll send out a signal from the Windows program to read your computer and send back to headquarters your hardware.
Yeah, but only, sir, only if you, there are about 8 steps that you've got to take to authorize their doing that. And it's not so that anybody can spy on you. It's so they can diagnose what you've got.
Well, I didn't know there was 8 steps, and they said that there was with...
Unless you're Chuck Carter, and then it's automatic.
Yeah, well, last year, the impression I got on I listened to Win Cooper on the shortwave broadcast. He mentioned it.
You're doing too much of this, sir.